I still remember the first time I heard about Forex. At the time, I was learning about stock market investing and swing trading and trying to figure it all out, when an individual online told me I could be making way more with Forex because of the access to leverage. Leverage allows you to, in a sense, borrow a broker's money in order to amplify your winnings, or your losses for that matter, but we'll talk about that later. I joined the individual's Telegram chat for free, where he and a few others were sharing their successes and talking about how they were all going to make it big with Forex. At one point, the group even talked about meeting up down in the Bahamas when they reached $1 million in profit. The ringleader, for lack of a better term, was leading the way in this hype, touting more than once his supposed incredible success trading Bitcoin in its monumental run back in 2017. He talked multiple times about how he had quit his job, was making 7 figures, etc. At this point, I was still fairly new to the trading and investing world and was very impressed with this young guy's success. Inside of his group, he occasionally would mention that he had made something like 10 grand for the day, and that if we wanted to make those sort of profits too, we should buy his course and learn what he does. When I pulled up the link one day to his course, I was shocked to see a price tag of nearly $1,000 for his Forex course just to learn what he was doing, and was even more shocked to see that many people in the chat had already purchased it. Of course, this had me skeptical, but everything really went downhill on one special, shall we call it, day. One day, the ringleader, we'll call him, had just shared that he was up a few grand and chilling at home for the rest of the day. He posted a short video as he was out for a smoke, and something peculiar caught my eye. In the background, I could clearly see that this individual was living in a total slum. Of course, I'm not trying to disrespect people of different financial situations, but this is the very same guy claiming that he was making 7 figures a year from his trading and that he was heading down to the Bahamas. Yet his yard was a mess and his house was falling apart. At this point, my little brain started to fire up and I realized that this Forex thing was full of fakes. Today's video is all about exposing some of the deepest, darkest secrets of the Forex industry. We're going to cover all sorts of scams, ranging from account management scams to Forex signals to courses. I'm going to give you as much insight as I can. But before we go further, I need you to know a little bit about who you're listening to. My name is Nick, and I've been trading for nearly 5 years, and I can only promise you one thing in trading Forex. I can promise you that it is difficult, most will fail, and few will ever be able to produce any sort of consistent profits from their trading. This industry is riddled with scammers, fakes, frauds, and people trying to sell you things. And before I go further, I need to disclose that I too sell things. I want you to be aware of any conflict of interest I may have when making this video so that you don't trust me or anyone else in this industry blindly. Although I do not believe in selling an expensive Forex course, our company hosts online communities for stock traders and Forex traders that do cost a monthly fee to be part of. Inside of our groups, we host live webinars, share our trade ideas and analysis, and allow an open chat room for our active members. We also offer software tools for traders using things like MetaTrader 4. Like I said, the reason I'm sharing this information up front is because I want to encourage you to be skeptical and hesitant with any online opportunities that seem too good to be true. There are legitimate traders, business coaches, and content creators out there, but it pays to be skeptical first and trusting later, rather than the other way around. There are lots of content creators that expose individuals or, kind of companies that are shady or offering things that seem too good to be true and challenging them. And I encourage you to take time to watch those sort of things so that you can familiarize yourself with recognizing people that seem to be sketchy or scammy. Because once you start to see it, then you recognize them relatively quickly. With that out of the way, I want to encourage you not to buy from me or from anyone else until you've watched this entire video and know exactly what to look for in recognizing a real trader from a fake one. Now is a really good time to share the first truth I have for the trading industry. You do not need to spend any money to learn to trade. There are tons of YouTube channels, free websites, and free courses that offer great value completely for free. The reason I know this to be true is because my cheap self never paid for anything, and I was actually able to learn how to trade and find some sort of consistency, all from doing stuff completely for free online. Now, when I say I was able to reach a point where I was making profits consistently, immediately it is important for me to add some detail to that. Because of all the hype surrounding Forex, many people may assume that making profits consistently means making large amounts of money all of the time from trading. That is a common misconception thanks to the countless stories showcasing individuals taking a small amount of money and turning it into a large amount of money quickly. But this is all an illusion used to draw in naive people looking for a way to change their life. I too fell victim to this illusion when first hearing about the stock market and the Forex market. The reality of successful traders is very different. They very well may be making large amounts of profit, but there is something that we need to talk about to fully understand how they're making that profit. Many successful traders are operating with a much larger amount of capital than the average beginner dipping their feet in the markets. This is dangerous because the new trader may try to mimic the large returns with no respect for risk management and cost themselves in the process a pretty penny. If someone shows you that they've made $2,000 but conveniently don't tell you that they have $100,000 in their trading account, you don't have the full picture. Due to my prior businesses before trading, for me personally, which I talk about in this video, I was fortunate to have a decent amount of trading capital before really getting involved in the markets, a luxury that, again, most people don't have. And I was incredibly cautious to put money on the line due to past business failures. Short side story. I used to run a very small heavy equipment rental and sales business, and one of my machines that I had invested a lot of capital into had some serious mechanical issues, ended up being in the shop, and that put me in the hole for a while. Although this is not trading related, it exposed me to what taking a serious loss actually looks like. So when I came to trading, I was not keen on getting myself into another one of those situations. This is a luxury that I'm thankful for now that many new traders don't have when getting involved with the markets for the first time. All that to say, what I have found in my own trading is that consistently profitable is going for an average monthly return of something like 1 to 5%, depending on the market environment that we're actually in at that time. If we're in a raging upward market, it's a lot easier to be buying stocks or investing in stocks. And when the markets are tanking, it may be better to be actively trading and looking for opportunities on both sides of the coin, right? Long and short. So it depends the market environment we're in, but generally speaking, I'm looking to make 1 to 5% on average per month. This is with respect to a risk management plan that I have developed over years of work in the markets, and it meets my risk tolerance when placing my money on the lines in the market. And don't worry, I'm not here to sell you my risk management plan as if it's some magical solution. It's not. You can find some of those videos on my channel completely for free, or I'm sure there's other YouTubers that have some good concepts on risk management as well. But whatever you do, I highly encourage you to consider your own risk management plan if you have not already done so. The reality is that if you intend on using proper risk management and risking small, your returns will likely not be massive in the short term. This brings me to the second truth I have about trading. It takes money to make money. Now that we've started talking about some of the major things you should know before even thinking about becoming a trader or trying to become a professional trader, it's time to uncover some of the questionable stuff that goes on here in the good old-fashioned trading industry. Let's start with trading signals. If you aren't familiar with what trading signals are, they are essentially a service provided by a person or company in which they share their trades and insights for some sort of subscription fee, whether it be monthly, yearly, etc. Usually it's some sort of recurring fee nonetheless. Now, before I continue, this concept by itself is not actually so bad. It makes sense, right? Paying a subscription fee to a business or individual who does not make lavish claims and can actually show profitability is a very, very reasonable way to learn from someone else's experience. It's almost like paying a consulting fee. Now, the problem is, however, when we realize that the vast majority of signal providers here in the trading industry are not advertising a realistic approach to trading, and furthermore, are often being highly deceptive and offering no sort of verifiable track record from any sort of third-party tracking system. They're claiming things like, oh, you can copy my signals and make tons of money, or 20% per month, and yada, yada, yada. All while using their fancy cars or houses to make you believe that they are some sort of zillionaire trader, as we like to joke about here on the channel. Now, you better watch out because you guys have seen my ride and you don't want to mess around with my Lambo because it's better than all the rest of the gurus out there, I promise. So here's my take on signal services. Most are bad and probably a total waste of money, over-promising and drastically under-delivering. Just ask many people that I've received messages from, talking about how they bought a signal service that was telling them they were going to be able to double their profits every month and be able to keep paying the recurring fee and all that sort of stuff. It's really sketchy and honestly pretty gross that people just take people's money and claim that they know how to trade, offering no sort of performance or promising crazy sort of over promises, I guess, if you will. But I do believe that there do exist good services out there from legitimate traders with real track records and realistic approaches, but they are few and far between. Now, I also want to cut in here and say that there are things like hedge funds in America or, investment funds where these people have taken on other people's money or their money on their behalf, right? That is another thing. Very different, though, than account management services. Those are kind of sketchy in the Forex industry. I know they're very prevalent, but you guys need to be aware of that. There are, legitimate ways to do this, and sometimes people don't want to go the full route of becoming a hedge fund or an investment fund, but they do want to share their trades and insights with analysis. I think that is very okay, especially when someone is offering, again, that third-party track record and actual realistic approaches and analysis in the markets. An easy way to spot people like this that are actually legit is they have a track record that looks steady and realistic, usually has some sort of longevity to it, right? Not just a few weeks of trading, but months or years of trading to actually show. And they don't tout anything more than something like 5 to 10% monthly gains on average, which, by the way, is the extreme high side. I would definitely be, faking up here if I was saying that, oh yeah, I make 10% plus per month. It's easy, right? It's not easy. There's a reason why, people who in the past have offered that sort of thing have been, caught in Ponzi schemes and fakes. It's because it's very hard to consistently return that sort of money every month. Now, you might have good months, you might have great months, you might have excellent years, but to say that you consistently all the time are making upwards of 10% per month, very unlikely. And I personally don't know any successful traders that are able to do that consistently and actually prove it. So instead of worrying so much about finding the perfect signal provider, I highly recommend that you think about learning to manage your own account rather than trying to find someone else to do it for you or someone else to copy their trades. When friends ask me for the average person what they should do when it comes to trading and investing, of course, I give them the disclaimer, I'm not actually a financial advisor. Maybe you shouldn't listen to me at all, but you should definitely consult your own financial advisor for you guys watching this video. But my opinion when it comes to trading and investing is that unless you are very willing to spend a lot of time, effort, and frustration in learning to trade, there are other more passive investing methods that are probably a better route to look into. We already know that most traders, 95+%, according to brokers that have released that sort of information, lose money, right? So most lose money. Do all lose money? No. There are profitable traders. There are people who actually make money. However, most do not, and it's only the people who work tremendous amounts to actually get there and they have capital behind them. Those are the sort of people that actually can make money in this industry. Things like long-term investing in mutual funds or bonds are a fairly simple way for the average person to get involved, but not spend countless hours working on this stuff like crazy old Trader Nick and all his subscribers. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the big one, the elephant in the room, if you will. Today, now we're finally getting to the big one, which is courses. And courses are, to put it bluntly, a cash generating machine for so many educators in this industry. But I've got a big problem with them, which may come as a surprise since I'm that greedy business owner selling membership fees and software tools. So why not sell a course to make even more? Here's why. First off, a lot of them are expensive as hell. I've seen courses in the trading space going for upwards of $3,000. Not naming any names out there, but $3,000? That's multiple months of rent here in Atlanta, where I'm from. The pricing of courses should not be so high in this age of information where we all have so much access to free stuff online. And by the way, free does not necessarily mean useless or poor quality. There's tons of free stuff on the internet and great content creators offering free stuff that you don't have to pay for and you can just watch. Second off, the value a customer gets from a course is simply not objectively worth it for everyone. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know that I've discussed in this, in some of my videos that people trade very differently. And a lot of times what works for one person may not necessarily work for others due to the varying psychological levels of stress or comfort that a strategy or approach may have. Ask anybody, or even I guess many of you guys, if you've placed a trade in the markets, you know there's stress involved and certain strategies and approaches just don't feel comfortable or even work for other people because they're just not capable of doing certain things. They just, whatever the reason is, they're just not comfortable with certain strategies. In other words, if you really don't love, for example, day trading or scalping like me, I'm more of a swing trader and, swing trader to long-term investor. That's kind of my range of things that I like to do. Then a course that discusses intraday breakouts or high of day breakouts would simply be something that I don't get a lot of value out of. The strategist just isn't comfortable for me. This is why on my YouTube channel and some of the other good content creators in this industry, I don't hold back, and they don't hold back either, on sharing the real stuff, the stuff that we've actually learned over our time as a trader. Not holding back things and trying to put a price tag on it. I think everyone needs to explore and find something that is actually comfortable for them in terms of a trading strategy, and take the time to sharpen the blade, if you will, as they find their own strategy through good old-fashioned hard work. I'll give you guys an example. Like I mentioned that a high of day breakout for stock trading, right, was something that I kind of got into and had a decent amount of success with, but I really did not like it. I did not like getting to the charts at 9:30 for that, that opening bell on the New York Stock Exchange. I just didn't love the high speed, the intensity, the breaking out and trying to capture and jump in and figuring out your position size, like all in the span of, a short period of time. Just wasn't comfortable for me, and I didn't love it. And I didn't have a lot of success with it in terms of being consistent with it or wanting to do it for very long, even though I think I did actually make some money. It wasn't crazy or anything, but this is back in the day, right? So back when I was first starting to get comfortable with trading, I was exploring and experimenting, and I highly encourage that you guys do that too. But don't go spend $2,000 on a course just to realize halfway through the course that, this is just not very comfortable to me. Okay, the third reason I don't love courses is there's so many secret methods, and I'm doing air quotes as I record this, being sold that are just repackaged versions of some of the basics that are out there for free. For me and my trading, I basically trade with the trend at key pullbacks or support and resistance levels, combine that with fundamental analysis that I do, and I trail stops to capture as much of a trend as possible and risk small. That's basically it. And packaging an expensive course to try and put makeup on it with an expensive price just wouldn't be cool, and I'd be capping, as the kids say these days. So all in all, the biggest thing I hope you get from this video is that trading is hard. It's not for everybody, most will fail, and it's not going to fund some millionaire travel lifestyle in the short term. However, I don't want to squash your dreams entirely. Trading success is possible. It just isn't like they showcase online. In my next documentary, I plan on talking about Forex, MLMs, and other dark areas of the industry and giving you my full opinion on those, because boy, do I have an opinion. If you would like to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn post notifications on so you don't miss out on any more eye-opening content. Now check out some of the videos on the screen. I've got tons of content for free talking about my successes and failures as a trader and think they could really help you out. I wish you the very best in your trading journey, should you still be crazy enough like me to try and dedicate your time to becoming a realistic and disciplined trader/investor.